The Galactic Council had seen thousands of wars across the galaxy, but nothing prepared them. For the moment, a human stood up and calmly asked one question. "Wait, you invaded Earth?" And suddenly, the entire chamber went silent. Because the Empire accusing humanity of aggression had no idea what they had actually started. The chamber of the Galactic Council had witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations for over 10,000 years. Empires had come pleading for protection. Species had begged for mercy. Entire star systems had been debated, judged, and sometimes erased from existence with quiet votes and formal resolutions. But never, never in the entire history of the Council had the chamber fallen into silence the way it did the moment the human ambassador finished speaking. The words echoed softly across the immense circular hall. "You invaded Earth?" Dozens of alien species stared at the human standing alone in the center of the chamber. The ambassador, Commander Elias Ward, stood calm and straight, hands folded behind his back, as if he were giving a routine briefing rather than accusing one of the galaxy's most powerful empires of a crime. Across from him floated the massive crystalline form of High Speaker Virel of the Thal'korr Dominion. The Thal'korr were ancient, powerful. Their fleets had crushed rebellions across half the Orion Arm. Their warriors were feared, their technology unmatched, and according to the official records presented to the Council 2 months earlier, they had been the victims. The report claimed that a small, primitive species known as humans had attacked a Thal'korr survey fleet near the edge of an unclaimed system. The Thal'korr had responded with defensive action. The Council had nearly approved sanctions against Earth. Nearly, until humanity asked to present its side. Now the chamber sat in stunned disbelief. High Speaker Virel's crystalline body shimmered with irritation. "That is a grave accusation, human," Virel said, voice resonating like grinding glass. "The Dominion has submitted full records of the encounter." Commander Ward tilted his head slightly. "Yes," he replied calmly. "You submitted edited records." A ripple of murmurs moved through the chamber. Several council members shifted in their seats. The insectoid representative of the Ket Collective clicked its mandibles. "You claim falsification?" Ward nodded once. "I do." The hall erupted. Council delegates began speaking over one another in dozens of languages. The massive amphibious counselor from Pelagia slapped a webbed limb against the desk. "Order." Gradually the chamber quieted again. High Speaker Virel leaned forward. "Be careful, human," Virel warned. "Your species only joined the galactic community 5 cycles ago. You would not survive the consequences of slandering the Dominion." Ward did not move. "If I were slandering you," he said, "I would agree." Then he raised one hand. A holographic projection appeared in the center of the chamber. A star system rotated slowly in the air. Yellow sun, 8 planets, 1 blue world. Earth. Several council members leaned closer. Ward continued. "This is the Sol System, humanity's home. According to Dominion records, a Thal'korr survey fleet entered this system to conduct peaceful observation." He paused. "Correct?" Virel's crystalline body pulsed. "Yes." Ward nodded slowly. "Then perhaps you can explain this." The hologram shifted. New footage appeared. It was raw sensor data, unedited, time-stamped. A fleet of sleek black Thal'korr warships emerged from hyperspace beyond Pluto. Gasps filled the chamber. That was not a survey fleet. Those were warships. 30 of them. The insectoid counselor leaned forward sharply. "Those vessels are Dominion assault cruisers." Ward nodded. "Yes." Every eye turned toward High Speaker Virel. The crystalline leader remained silent. Ward continued calmly. "They arrived, without broadcasting identification, without requesting contact, without observing standard first contact protocols." The hologram zoomed closer. The fleet advanced toward Earth. Then one of the ships fired. bright beams slashed across the void. The council chamber went deathly still. The beam struck a human orbital defense station. The station vanished in a burst of light. Several council members recoiled. Ward's voice remained level. That station housed 212 personnel. He let the silence stretch. None survived. The amphibious counselor turned slowly toward Varel. "High Speaker!" Varel's crystalline structure flickered. This footage could be fabricated. Ward smiled faintly. "That's what we expected you to say?" He raised his hand again. The hologram changed. Now it showed dozens of angles. Satellite feeds, military sensors, civilian observatories, every possible perspective. The same moment. The same attack. Perfectly synchronized. Impossible to fake at that. Scale. A murmur of unease swept through the chamber. Ward spoke again. "Your fleet did not attempt communication. The hologram advanced. Another beam. Another orbital station destroyed. Then a third." The council watched in stunned silence. Ward's voice hardened. "You didn't come to survey." The hologram zoomed out. The Thal'korr fleet accelerated toward Earth. "You came to invade." Several delegates turned slowly toward the High Speaker. Varel's crystalline body now glowed an agitated red. "This proves nothing," Varel said sharply. "The Dominion has encountered aggressive primitives before. Your species could have provoked—" Ward interrupted. "We did." The chamber froze. Even Varel paused. Ward nodded once. "Yes, we provoked you." Confused murmurs filled the chamber. Ward continued. "When your fleet destroyed our orbital stations, Earth went to emergency war protocol." The hologram shifted again. Now it showed Earth's surface. Cities, oceans. Then the image zoomed into military command bunkers. Human generals standing around war tables. Orders being issued. Ships launching. The insectoid counselor tilted its head. "You mobilized quickly." Ward gave a humorless smile. "We've had practice." The hologram changed again. Now dozens of small human ships rose from hidden launch platforms across the solar system. They were crude compared to Thal'korr vessels. Angular, heavy, industrial. But there were many of them. Ward's voice carried across the chamber. The Dominion expected a primitive species. The hologram zoomed in on the Thal'korr fleet approaching Mars. They expected fear. A human cruiser accelerated directly toward the alien formation. They expected surrender. The cruiser detonated. A massive nuclear blast erupted against the hull of a Thal'korr warship. The council chamber gasped. The warship staggered. Its shields flickered. Ward's eyes hardened. What they got was humanity. The hologram erupted into chaos. Hundreds of human vessels surged forward. Fighters, missile platforms, drone swarms, everything humanity had. The Thal'korr fleet opened fire. Blue energy beams tore through the human ships. Explosions lit the darkness. But the humans didn't retreat. They kept coming. Ward continued. "You see, High Speaker, we have a saying on Earth." The hologram showed a human pilot smiling grimly inside a cockpit. "If someone comes to your home with guns, missiles launched. You don't ask why." The missiles struck a Thal'korr cruiser. Its shields flared violently. You make sure they regret it. The chamber fell silent as the battle unfolded. Human ships died by the dozens, but each one carried weapons. Each one struck back. Another Thal'korr cruiser exploded under a coordinated barrage. Then another. The Dominion fleet began to slow. Then, retreat. The hologram froze. Ward looked around the chamber. 30 Thal'korr warships entered our system. He tapped the display. 17 left. The council members stared at the image. High Speaker Varel said nothing. Ward clasped his hands behind his back again. "You didn't file a report about the destroyed ships." No one spoke. "You didn't mention the attempted planetary strike, either." The chamber erupted. The amphibious counselor slammed its limb again. Planetary strike? Ward nodded. The hologram resumed. A massive Thal'korr battleship moving into position above Earth, its main cannon charging, then a swarm of human. Fighters slammed into it like angry hornets, missiles, railgun rounds, explosions. The battleship fired. The beam grazed the atmosphere. An entire coastline burned. But the human fighters didn't stop. One by one they rammed the battleship, until finally, the giant vessel detonated. The shock wave lit half the planet. The chamber fell silent again. Ward's voice was quiet now. That battleship carried a planet cracker cannon. Several counselors visibly recoiled. Ward looked directly at High Speaker Varel. "You invaded Earth!" Varel's crystalline body pulsed violently. The Dominion was conducting expansion operations within unclaimed territory. Ward nodded. "Yes?" Then he leaned forward slightly. "And that's the part that shocked us." The chamber waited. Ward gestured to the hologram. The star map zoomed out. Hundreds of systems appeared. Trade routes, council territories, Dominion borders, then a blinking marker appeared on Sol. Ward spoke softly. "You thought Earth was unclaimed." The amphibious counselor frowned. "It is unclaimed." Ward smiled faintly. "That's because humanity never filed our expansion data." The DEI chamber went quiet again. Ward tapped the display. A new map appeared. Dozens of star systems lit up around Sol. Then dozens more. Mining colonies, listening posts, hidden shipyards, human military installations scattered across 30 light-years. Gasps spread across the chamber. Ward's voice remained calm. "You attacked what you thought was a single primitive planet." He folded his arms. "You actually attacked the central fortress of a growing interstellar civilization." The insectoid counselor's mandibles clicked. "You already colonized." "This region?" Ward nodded. "For the last 40 years. Shock rippled through the chamber. Humanity had joined the galactic community only 5 cycles ago, and yet they had secretly expanded across dozens of systems. High Speaker Varel finally spoke again. "You hid your expansion." Ward shrugged. "We were busy surviving." The hologram shifted once more. Now it showed the aftermath of the battle. Human fleets gathering, shipyards activating, factories constructing new warships at terrifying speed. Ward continued. "When your fleet retreated," the image zoomed out further, hundreds of new human ships leaving hidden docks. "We didn't stop." The chamber grew tense. Ward looked around the council. "We followed." Silence. Then the amphibious counselor whispered, "You... what?" Ward met its gaze. "We followed your fleet back to Dominion space." The hologram showed the Thal'korr fleet limping home, damaged, retreating. Then human ships emerging from hyperspace behind them. Council members stared in disbelief. Ward continued. "You came to conquer Earth." The hologram showed the human fleet entering Dominion territory. "So we paid a visit." Explosions lit the map. Dominion border outposts vanishing. Shipyards destroyed. Defense stations shattered. Ward's voice remained steady. "We didn't invade your homeworld." The image showed human ships turning away before reaching the Dominion core. "We're not monsters." He paused. "But we did make sure you understood something." The hologram displayed dozens of devastated military installations. "If you attack humanity..." Ward's eyes swept across the chamber. "We don't just defend." Silence filled the hall. High Speaker Varel finally spoke again, voice low. "You are admitting to acts of war against the Dominion." Ward nodded calmly. "Yes." The chamber waited. Ward straightened his uniform, and were also submitting formal evidence that the Dominion initiated the conflict. He gestured to the destroyed orbital stations, the attempted planetary strike, the invasion fleet. "All of it." The amphibious counselor slowly turned, toward the rest of the chamber. "This changes everything." Ward gave a small smile. "That's why we came today." He looked directly at Varel. "You invaded Earth." Then he spread his hands slightly, and the council could only stare in shock. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the insectoid counselor clicked its mandibles slowly. "High Speaker Varel." The massive creature leaned forward. "Does the Dominion wish to continue this war?" The crystalline leader flickered. For the first time since the session began, uncertainty rippled through its structure. Across the chamber, the representatives of dozens of species watched carefully, because they had all just learned something new about humanity. Humans did not start wars, but if you brought one to their home, they would finish it.